Okay, we were talking about going up. Okay, and where are they going up to? Well, they're going to go up to Mount Sinai, but they're also going up to the land of Israel. Now, I'll give you a clue. Egypt represents what?
Slavery.
Okay, what's worse than slavery?
Death.
Death. Okay, good. Mount Sinai represents what?
Freedom.
And?
Life.
Life. Okay. Israel represents what?
A bunch of olive branches.
You're answering all the questions. So, Shauna, what does Israel represent?
I don't know.
Valerie? Opposite of death. This isn't too hard.
No one said life yet?
Life. No one said life. Right. Life.
I already said life though.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure someone did.
I
So,
just thought it was
okay,
something
here we
different.
have El Eretz Tova Verachava. El Eretz Zavat
Isn't that the word
Halav
for earth?
Udevash. Okay. A land of milk and honey. Actually, yeah, it says in that word, milk and honey. Okay, a land flowing with milk and honey, and a land, good and spacious land. Wide. It's wide. Now, what do people mostly think of Israel today as?
A small country.
A narrow, skinny little place. If you look at the distance between the Mediterranean and the West Bank, it's only like some 14 miles. But if the population wasn't too great and Israel had the whole land, then it would be wide and spacious. It would seem like, you know, the big Montana country, big blue sky with the hills. Valerie's shaking her head. But that's what it says. It says wide, okay? A broad land. So maybe small places can seem like big places. Alright? Okay, let's, somebody needs to read the next verse.
Would that be verse 9?
Did I actually didn't finish,
You said about parasites.
I
and
didn't
bites.
finish the verse. El Makom HaKanaani Vecha Hiti Vecha Emori Vecha Perizi Vecha Hivi Vecha Yebusi. Okay, now I finished it. Okay, so that's the 7 nations. Are there 7 nations? Count them there and see if there's 7.
6 here.
Did the Egyptians count?
No.
I got 6.
6. Well, in Deuteronomy 7, it refers to them as 7 nations. So, maybe one of these contains, I'm not sure how we count those here.
Maybe it doesn't have Midianite in
I
there.
haven't researched it. No, Midian was not one of the 7 Canaanite nations. You having trouble with that, Joseph?
No.
Okay. Alright, next verse. Shoshana.
Was that verse 9?
Valerie, can you read the next verse?
That's verse 9.
Now behold, the cry of the sons of Israel has come to me. Furthermore, I have seen the oppression with which the Egyptians are oppressing them.
Okay. I'm going to skip over that verse for the sake of time. Let's do it in English. Okay. Shoshana, can you read verse 10?
Therefore come now, and I will send you to Pharaoh, so that you may bring my people, the sons of Israel, out of Egypt.
Okay. Ve'ata l'cha ve'eshlacha el paro ve'hotze et ami b'nei Yisrael mi-Mitzrayim. Okay. That's pretty straightforward. Alright, can you read verse 11?
But Moses said to God, Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh, and that I should bring the sons of Israel out of Egypt?
Arguments ensue.
Vayomer Moshe el ha'Elohim, Mi anoki ki elech el paro ve'ki otzi et b'nei Yisrael mi-Mitzrayim. Moshe is objecting. Who am I? Why did you notice me, God? Why do I have to do this? Although God isn't angry yet, Moses is starting to voice some reluctance to be the one to deliver Israel. Now, Moses is a type of what?
What?
He's a type of Yeshua. Okay. Now remember, Yeshua asked, "May this cup pass from me, but not my will, but your will be done."
Huh.
So the deliverance business is not, well, it requires some suffering. Okay. And Moses was what? In the beginning of the chapter, he was a what? What
What?
was his occupation?
Shepherd.
Shepherd. Roe. So now Yeshua is
A shepherd.
the great shepherd, right? Okay?
Is this more analogies?
Right, I'm just picking up some analogies here as I remember this, okay? Alright, what's the next verse going to be? We read verse 11?
Yes.
Okay. Marjorie, would you read verse 12, please?
And God said, I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain.
Okay. Sign. What is that? Ota. Vayomer ki ye imach bezelach haot. Okay. The sign. Haot. Okay. We got this word to go up. We saw that. So they're going to go up from the land. Then there's going to be a sign, and the sign is that they're going to come up to Mount Sinai to worship God. Okay? Vayomer ki ehyeh, that's the first time he uses this word, ehyeh, which I will, okay, or I am, with you. So he's giving Moses some assurance, okay. And this is going to be the sign, okay, V'zeh l'cha ha'ot ki anochi shalachticha v'hotziacha et ha'am mitzrayim ta'adun. You will serve, or you will worship me, okay, et ha'elohim al hahar hazeh, okay. Now we haven't got to the 3-day part yet, but I'm wondering where it came up. I forgot which verse that would be in. So Miriam, next verse, please.
At 13. Then Moses said to God, Behold, I am going to the sons of Israel, and I will say to them, The God of your fathers has sent me to you. Now they may say to me, What is his name? What shall I say to them? Who's talking?
Moses.
Oh.
This is kind of Moses' second objection.
Oh, he's saying stuff.
They're not going to believe me. That's what's
Oh.
implied here.
Yeah, he's quoting what he will say.
Vayomer Moshe el ha'Elohim, Hinei, Anochi, which is another form of I, Ani, okay. Va el b'nei Yisrael ve'amarti, and I say to them, Lachem, Elohai avoteichem, Shalachni aleichem, ve'amru li, Ma Shemo. Ma Shemo. What's his name? Okay.
I lost train of thought.
And that's my place in the text. Ma Shemo. Okay. Ma Omar aleichem. What saith to them? Or what shall I say to them? Okay. Next page. Or no, maybe the back of this page, huh? Yep. Alright, you want to read the next verse? Who needs to read next? Valerie?
God said to Moses, I am who I am. And he said, Thus you shall say to the sons of Israel, I am has sent me to you.
Okay, now I want you to listen to that true Hebrew style. Just be a second here, and I will. It's a pretty cute thing over here. Okay.
אמרו לי מה שמו, מה אומר עליהם. ויאמר אלוהים אל משה, אהיה אשר אהיה. ויאמר כה תאמר לבני ישראל, אהיה שלחני עליכם. ויאמר עוד אלוהים אל משה.
You hear that? Ehyeh. Did you all hear him say Ehyeh 3 times?
Maybe.
It was hard to tell what vowel he was saying on the last syllable.
Well, here's the word right here. Syllable stop. Ehyeh. Ehyeh.
What does that mean? I forgot.
It means I am or I will be. Actually, there's no tense in biblical Hebrew. Basically, everything devolves to a continuative present tense or a completed present tense. Kind of like, in this case, you could just translate it I am, or I will be, I will.
I'm going to have been.
Never mind. It's hard for English people to understand. Okay. So he says Ehyeh 3 times. He says, okay. Vayomer Elohim El Moshe Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh. I am who I am. Basically, you're going to have to get to know me the way I am. Okay. Vayomer Kol Tomar Lebnei Israel Ehyeh Shalachani Aleichem. I am has sent me to you. Okay, he's saying Moses to tell that. Okay. All right, verse 15, Shoshana.
God furthermore said to Moses, Thus you shall say to the sons of Israel, Yahweh, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial name to all generations.
Okay, verse 15. Vayomer od Elohim El Moshe Ko Tomar El Bnei Israel Yahweh Elohai Avotechem Elohai Abraham Elohai Yitzhak Elohai Yaakov Shalachani Aleichem Zeh Shemi La'olam V'zeh Zikri L'dor. Okay. Now, he begins his sentence out, and Elohim said again to Moses, Thus you will say to the sons of Israel. Okay, comma there. So, he's talking to Moses at that point. After the comma comes what he's supposed to say to the sons of Israel when they ask, what is his name? Okay? They're supposed to say, Yahweh, Elohai, Avotechem, Elohai, Abraham, Elohai, Yitzhak, Elohai, Yaakov, Shalachani, sent me, Aleichem. Okay? So, he starts out with the divine name, Yahweh, which is based on the verb ehyeh. Okay? And here's how the root looks like this. Okay? It would be hayah if we put in the root to be. Okay, but ehyeh is an imperfect form. Okay? And Yahweh sounds like ehyeh. The only difference being that Yahweh is middle weak vowel, and the yod on the front indicates he. So really only God says I am. If a human being says that, and they're not quoting God, then they're blaspheming to say I am. And sometimes you see that in movies, in science fiction movies, scripts somewhere, where somebody boastfully says that, or sometimes you even hear people,
I am Miriam.
especially
Are we allowed to
people
say
who
that?
have a God complex, maybe some Hindus or some people from the Far East where they all believe they have God in them. They might say things like that.
What does it mean to say I am?
I exist.
Just am?
I'm the, well, actually it's spelled out in Revelation. He who was, who is, and who is to come.
Oh.
So actually
Just
you
the
can
constant.
comprehend it in 3 tenses.
It's a
Vehove,
constant.
veyavo. Okay. Who is and who is to come, and who was, vehaya, who was. But modern Hebrew actually has 3 tenses. Ancient Hebrew really doesn't have the modern tense put on it. Okay.
Why did God pick Moses anyway?
I don't know, you'll have to ask him. But I want to say, he pointed out he was the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So that kind of defines him according to his previous redemptive acts. So, for instance, in Green Bay we have this dispute with the city council and them saying prayers. You familiar with that after the council meeting? In Jesus' name?
No, I hadn't heard of it.
Yeah, and I think it was the ACLU, or the Freedom from Religion Foundation, that's what it was, filed suit against them because
Oh, what?
by saying in Jesus' name, they're establishing a religion. And they want them to pray generically God, so that it can be any God. Say if you say, God bless you, well, a Muslim could say that, a Hindu could say that, a Christian could say that, a Jew could say that, a Buddhist or a Shinto could say that, because they all believe in some amorphous idea of God. But if you say the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, then most of them are going to object, because they don't believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Actually, the Muslims, it's the God of Abraham and Ishmael. We shouldn't blame it on Ishmael too much, though. If you say Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, then the Muslims will part way from you. And if you say, so the divine name Yahweh evokes the God of Israel, the God of biblical history, the God of the land, the God of the tribes of Israel. Okay, so that brings up that connotation. And so that's why he's explaining, I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob here in the text. Okay, now a name is something more than a label. What is a name?
A reputation.
A reputation. The name only is supposed to remind you of the person's reputation, what they did. To have a good name in English. Okay.
I was thinking about how God chose Moses, and it may be partly, or he at least engineered Moses' young age, that he was very educated. So he could write all these scriptures later. And also it's similar to how God chose Saul to be the Apostle Paul, who is a very intelligent and intellectual person, to be one of the fathers of the Christian church.
Right. Moses had a first-class education, and however, God had to bring him down from his high education because he had to spend a lot of time in the wilderness. And also, Paul, now this is interesting because God keeps using the verb shalach, which is to send. Shalach me, or send me, or I send you, okay? And an apostle in Hebrew is shaliachim, or shaliach, one who is sent. And Paul had his wilderness experience. Remember, he went into Arabia for 3 years after his conversion. And of course he had all this learning, but he had to redigest it, and because he didn't understand the Messianic prophecy. I'm sure he understood Messianic prophecy, but he didn't understand it applying to Yeshua. So God had to teach him that in the wilderness.